Yo, and welcome to Rauta's gaming stream. It's been a while, something like 10 days or whatever since my previous stream, thanks to my trip to Athens. So, the last few days have been really busy in terms of, in terms of for me to, do stuff right after coming back from Athens and all. So I've been just, checking out the videos for coming interviews and all. So it's been very, very hectic in that sense. And didn't mean to have this pause, obviously. I mean, I like gaming way too much to have such a break. But here it is, after the break, here we are, finally getting back to the routines. And I want to obviously give you a little bit of a idea what I was doing in Athens. Some probably already know what I was doing in Athens, and that is seeing black metal shows and also doing a few interviews. So it was a really good trip to Greece, and 5 interviews were done. I was obviously aiming for 2 interviews in Greece, but this time I managed to do 5, even though 1 interview just got cancelled on the spot due to schedule difficulties. So what are you having for next 5 weeks is obviously quite a few interviews. We'll start with Necromantia interview already next week. That's already been edited, and that will be the first one to air next week. This coming Friday, and after the Necromantia stuff, we'll move on to more Greek bands, and there will be Divisor one right after that. So for next 5 weeks, you're gonna get more interviews from Greece, 3 bands from the Greek scene, and the rest are gonna be something different, including Life Lover from Sweden and Nocturnal Depression from France. So 5 black metal acts for next coming 5 weeks. So thanks to everybody supporting the Rauta channel. This is the content you're now getting. And of course, this was a very positive surprise because it's not exactly a secret that during winter times getting these video interviews is actually quite hard because normally I would be, just doing these interviews at some fests. But now, thanks to this special trip that was done in a very, very spontaneously, there are actually these interviews coming. I mean, normally most of the stuff happen during the festival season, which means usually there are no interviews this time of the year. So I'm very happy that this possibility presented itself, and I'm able to bring you more content. About the next possible interviews, most likely happening in early 2026. And now, obviously, I'm gonna try to focus on the game as well. There will be some other interesting content coming to you as well, not just interviews, but more about that in coming weeks. Already Monday, I have a rather interesting video coming out. Well, it was at least very interesting to me because it was something related to music gear. But yep, you will see the calendar is piling pretty nicely with stuff. So It's not like Rauta is having a break, more like too much stuff to do with all the videos coming out. As always, while I'm streaming this gaming and all, obviously you are free to ask me anything. I try to do my best to answer you while I'm gaming, and yeah, let's move from that. Oh no, I managed to get caught in a way. Always getting a little bit distracted when having a small pause in gaming. Like I mentioned already when I started today, having 10 days break with the gaming because, you know, I had too much stuff to do. But now things are back to normal, more or less, after the trip. Oh, and of course, yeah, the Fintroll interview just got out yesterday, which I'm personally very happy about it because even though some people might not be like thinking it's a straightforward black metal act. I mean, I get it. It's very folky by nature. Fintroll is actually so big a band that ignoring it from Finnish black metal scene would be just outright wrong, considering how they are in terms of success. Actually, the biggest band. Now, obviously, people are not measuring black metal by sheer size, these numbers and all, but still, you know, it's very, very important to understand that bands like Fintroll have so much weight in Finnish scene, even if they're not so much related to pure blood black metal and all. Man, it feels good to be back in gaming after this short break. Because it's almost like I was kind of needing to game because, you know, that's kind of a relaxation is something that I very much kind of require. And gaming is indeed exactly that. especially after those trips, you know, that are already done with so much work and stuff. God damn, I go for a little bit of blue here. Well, let's see if I can make this happen. Trying to do it. No, it doesn't work. I was thinking if I could possibly just throw a dagger through the window, but I guess it's too hard to do that. Alright, I should probably start focusing where are the next bosses right here in this area, because I've been doing very random order, which is never a good idea when the whole area is so big. Can't resist double attacks. These are so great. So again, once again, those who just joined the stream, as always, if there are questions you might want to do, just shoot me up. Don't care if it's about gaming or something totally different. So far away, if something is in your mind, you want to know something about Rauta, something related to game, or something in general that is in your mind. I will be today streaming roughly about an hour more, give or take, depending how much I have whiskey left. No, I am kidding. I just have to go to bed around 1. So if you have something in your mind that you want to fire away before it's all done for the day, just do it. Meanwhile, I'm obviously trying to get hold of this game once again after the short break. And of course, updates about Rauta stuff are always shared on Rauta's.
Thoughts on learning ninjutsu?
That's a good question, Dixon. In general, I would say all martial arts, even the less effective ones, are good and highly interesting for me. Now, ninjutsu might not be so much like useful today in so many aspects, but then again, cannot measure all the things based on how effective certain stuff is. So I would say ninjutsu, based on what my friends have been learning about the craft over the years, I would say, yeah, it sounds very interesting. And if that is something that interests someone's personal mind over some other martial arts style, I mean, why not? Give it a go. I think in general, martial arts are among the best things one can do in life, especially when it comes to doing something athletic, some kind of, not sports. Sports is the wrong word for, when we're talking about stuff like ninjutsu or whatever.
Thought it would be fun.
Yeah, I've heard that ninjutsu is indeed fun, and as such, I think it would be a cool style of martial arts and other skills to learn. Now, the one major and most common problem with certain martial arts styles is that not everything is just available in a given city. Of course, if you live in a big city, just basically everything is within the grasp. But there are so many cities where you just can have something very common like karate, or nowadays I guess mixed martial arts is that given style. So there are lots of places where you simply don't have the option, and then you just go with whatever is available near you. And while that is not exactly optimal, sometimes it's better to go with the less sexy style of whatever rather than just go too picky about it. Or that's at least what I think. I mean, to each his own and all that, but I'd rather do some kind of martial arts than simply nothing if I had to choose. Then again, I haven't been doing anything related to martial arts actively for a few years now because COVID pretty much killed our activity when it hit. But that being said, it's not like I have abandoned, you know, martial arts for good. It's more like a little bit on hiatus in that sense.
You need to set up a Rauta dojo so we can start a fight club.
Yeah, that would be nice, but unfortunately, uh, starting a dojo is a very expensive hobby, and also, you know, starting with the style you're not a master of would be kind of like stealing people's money. It's not like I cannot teach people, but it's also like I don't have one given style that I would be, doing. Okay, this seems pretty nice. Side activity calling my name. Okay, that was a interesting side character I got to murder. What was this agent? Okay, there's a new organization I just got involved with. This is always interesting with this.
85.
Hello, Rytkösen Jussi, nice to have you here. Terve vaan miehen. Let's try to lure in. So here I'm sipping a little bit of whiskey while having this game going on. And unfortunately, this was my last sip of this particular Jameson triple distilled whiskey I got for a present, a birthday present from my lovely neighbors. So I guess the next task at hand will be to grab a new bottle for the next gaming session and all. Which I hope is happening today. Tomorrow. That is. Gonna have a night side band rehearsals tomorrow evening, and now I can finally say it's time for some new songs to be rehearsed.
birthday cake.
No, it's not my birthday anymore. It was in August. I was just finishing this bottle, which I got. But thank you. A little bit late, 3 months and all. But you know, thank you. So anyway, as I was saying, we're now heading for some new songs to be practiced by Nightside. And those will be, of course, for the upcoming album sometime next year. Yes, we have. Oh shit! They've almost killed me, the motherfuckers. I will be back about those gigs a little bit later. It seems like I'm in the top spot right now. But yeah, we will have some gigs next year. The next one is totally wrong type. This is what happens when I fuck around too much. So Nordic Metal Cruise will be the next one. Okay, time for me to fuck off. Otherwise I would just die. Damn, that was a close call. So Nordic Metal Cruise in February is the next Nightside gig, and after that I am not able to announce. Yeah, well, Ubisoft has its own style, so there is definitely oh no, this guy is fierce. How goddamn hard he can hit. Fuck, I gotta be running away. I'm out of those held items as we speak. So, gotta do this. Gotta find more rations, or otherwise I will be fucked for good. Guess I get a little bit too big bite to chew on. So in case I missed some of your comments, I apologize for that. It can be hard sometimes when in the middle of the action. So just bear with me. Too many enemies and no health items. I guess I need to be very careful where I sneak. See how many Daishas I have killed. 2 out of 4. And now I have found the rest of the 2 who are in the tower. So at least I'm going into right direction in that sense. Let's remove the alarm bell. Don't want that sound.
Listening to Arcanum for last 40 minutes.
That's great band, Satanic Death Machine. Arcanum is actually maybe the second best black metal band from Sweden after all. Alright, no problem. My biggest challenge is get to
first position.
Well, Bathory, of course. Nothing can beat Bathory. Though Bathory isn't that in position just because of the black metal albums. I mean, of course, it's partially big portion. Part of the whole thing is okay. Finally, I have some rations. So obviously, Bathory is maybe the most important band of all times for me, along with Slayer, of course. So coming from Sweden, Bathory is always the number one. But Arcanum is definitely, like I mentioned, a very important band for me. And Arcanum doesn't really have, weak albums. So that's another great thing about it. Even if it's most boring parts, Arcanum is very, very solid. And the best albums, of course, are very, very good. Alright, time for me to start sneaking around this castle, and of course this is way too full of enemies, so gotta be very careful about it in order to not to ring an alarm here. So for me, really, Arcanum is like, based on my Rauta rating, it's actually supposed to be my number one band, but sometimes things don't go as easy. I mean, I've always been thinking, Slayer is the Slayer has been like the band, but I don't know, it's not that simple when I created this system, so Hello, J Killers, how are you doing, man? Nice to have you here for yet another stream.
いただいておくか。
And in case you want to know more about my personal Arcanum rating, I actually made the Arcanum Worst to Best video. Was it already 2 years ago? Because time really flies. Sometimes I lose the track of time. So I was going through the whole discography and all to share some thoughts about Arcanum's music, because it's really that important of a band. And I think it's often kind of an underrated band, but that's kind of easy to understand why it is so, because, you know, it's not really a band that tours. Okay, now I'm in a very, very tough spot because...
What is your favorite song in Night of Saturnakia?
I don't have a favorite song in Night of Saturnakia. Okay, now I have to be really careful in the game because this whole floor is kind of it's trapped. So I have to be very, very careful not to... So this is my very, very peculiar... So as you can see, my tactic to beat this boss was very, very subtle. Straight on, head on, rush to the boss, kill it. Okay, so now due to my sloppiness, I'm inviting extra enemies into the fray. But I do think I managed to survive.
How was Athens?
Athens was great, thanks for asking. Hold on, give me a second. There's now this guard. I have to wait for it. So, people who don't know, I spent 5 days in Athens, 2 days at this black metal venue event, and 2 days just, you know, hanging around with friends and doing a little bit of tourism. Okay, this guy is not gonna move. So, 5 interviews were done, starting with Necromantia, coming out next week. Then Divisor, both legendary Greek bands that already started their careers late in the 80s. That was followed by Nocturnal Depression from France. And then Sad took place very spontaneously. I was supposed to interview the Brazilian black metal band Thigh Light, but unfortunately, due to schedule problems, I couldn't do it. We couldn't do it. We meaning me and the band. So Sad came as a very spontaneous replacement for that, and it's a good band for sure. So very interesting. So like 3 Greek bands and Nocturnal Depression from Sweden, and one of the most important was of course Life Lover / Hypothermia from Sweden, which was doing a special 20 years gig at the, you know, place, at the venue, at the event. So of course I'm really happy about this Life Lover possibility, because, you know, it's not like they tour all the time. Maybe the most important one was really the Necromantia one, because Magus of Necromantia, Thor Lord, ex-Rotting Christ, ex-Yoth Iria, and so forth, I mean, he doesn't tour. he doesn't play gigs. So getting to do an interview with him outside Greece is not exactly an easy thing to pull off. So for me, it was really, really special thing to get this done, because after all, Magus have been has been a part of Greek black metal thing for so long, and he has been part of so many bands throughout the years or decades. That to interview Necromantia and Magus was really, really important.
I thought they are from Finland, but I don't listen to them, so I don't care that much.
Yeah, Life Lover is from Sweden, and kind of related to bands like Shining, although of course different too. But yeah, they are indeed kind of a legendary band. Well, this is nice, but nothing like a real upgrade. And overall, Athens was just great. 20 Celsius degree, warm, and on top of that, people are super nice in Greece always. I have said this for years, but you know, uh, Greek people are the nicest. Well, yeah, most DSPM is a little bit boring. Life Lover really have some good stuff going on, and I like Shining. But most DSPM bands are not that good. That's kind of a given. Nocturnal Depression has some really good albums as well. So they are bands which are definitely way better than your typical DSPM stuff. Okay, now I'm gonna check out some of the upgrades.
Nocturnal Depression and Abyssic Hate are better picks in DSPM.
Yes, definitely Satanic Death Machine. Abyssic Hate is one of the best one, obviously, but also Nocturnal Depression is very, very good.
What do you think about Ripikulu the band?
Somehow, for some reason, I have never been exactly been paying attention to Rippikoulu. I don't know really why. I probably should, actually give them a proper go and all. Now let's see what the time is. Okay, I have about 30 minutes, give or take, to game today.
It's okay in my opinion.
So over 75 hours in this game. God damn, I'm really, really putting a lot of time into random stuff. Yeah, Rutger Jussi, but Rippikoulu is a really, really old band, so it's not like they started. But there is definitely kind of a punk feel to it if you really think about the name. But yeah, Rippikoulu is a cult act. Didn't do much music, but every now and then the name pops up, even outside Finland. But it's a weird name for a death metal or death doom act. Because it doesn't make sense. It totally sounds like a punk metal or just punk rock band name. All right, I'm gonna do a little bit of. Let me see how much money I actually. I don't really know what's the backstory of the name. I am not that familiar with the band, like I said. Um, check out how much money I have with the character. Um, so much money that I don't actually need to sell the gear. I think I probably really need to save the items I have in character for upgrades. So I might as well. Yeah, nowadays they geek again. Okay, what was this quest really all about? So as you can see in the game, while talking about a little bit of that as well, is that I'm exploring a whole new area which I barely started just before my trip to Athens. So I'm a little bit like where I left off the game. So it seems like I have new places to go to and explore the world a little bit. But talking about the interviews and all, talking about those bands and stuff. It's been wild recently because so many review albums have been sent this way that it's kind of like getting crazy again. I was already like very very small pile of albums really, and I was like, it's gonna be interesting that I get to focus on different kind of projects in terms of reviews and all that. Now it doesn't really seem like that. But yeah, in terms of interviews, 5 next weeks. Okay, hold on after this dialogue.
The DSBM. In fact, I did not know there was that name genre. Thought it was more National Socialistic back then. I had apprentice season in warehouse/hardware store.
一頭しかおらん牛を盗まれた。それを売り払い儲けた金で刀を買い、あたしらを苦しめとるんだ。それだけじゃない。奴らは子らを差し出さねば家畜を奪うと言うて百姓を脅しとる。懸命に働く民の暮らしを守らねばな。なら悪しき侍どもを成敗しとくれ。数を減らしてくれたら礼をするよ。わかった。礼があろうとなかろうとな。
Now talking about this talking about the DSBM genre. I mean, after all, it's relatively new. I mean, it wasn't like early 90s, so that's why I understand when people say like, hey, I didn't even know that subgenre. The funny thing is a lot of bands that probably get inspired by bands like okay, this is all about just killing samurais here and all. What is this? Central Yosino. What is this? Okay, that's very far away. So what I'm saying is that a lot of bands probably got inspired by bands like Burzum to, do stuff like that. Some went more for the atmospheric black metal, not depressive, not suicidal, not self-harming, anything like that. And there you have it, kind of a DSBM inspired by droney riffs, becoming very melancholic and all that stuff. So atmospheric black metal went into different direction, not so self-harm, not so depressive, not maybe so melancholic, but still very atmospheric. And that's where you have this Burzum follow-up school coming out from.
That ancient temple caught on fire.
And what ancient temple are you talking about, J-Killers? And then there's of course this DSBM, which is kind of like also, follow-up to Burzum school, and just more about self-harm, depression, and all that stuff. So in a way, they are very, very closely related subgenres if you really think about it. The outcome is quite different, but overall, it's not like they're totally two different styles in that sense. And no, I got to say I didn't know that some. God damn, I'm gonna target this. Okay, I can. This character.
I didn't know the name, but it was in China.
Okay, interesting.
What was that samurai death metal band?
Whispered, yeah, that Finnish band, which had this samurai theme going on. I think it was something like melodic death metal or whatever. But yeah, talking about DSBM, it's kind of funny that it became its own subgenre, as if suddenly self-harm was something like a cool thing or whatever. But in a way, if you really think about it, as its own subgenre, it's a little bit like war metal. Not musically that different, but thematically, yeah, sure. And if you also think about it, it's much like NSBM. It's a lot to do with the shock effect. Like, who would get more shocked?
Move those corpses. Face orange biting nails. I've been listening lots of Schlager.
Yes, you can carry those bodies around. So if you really think about it, like DSBM in the same fashion as NSBM, it's more about like how to say a thematic thing, like a shock value thing, not so much like a musically automatically defining thing. I mean, of course, DSBM is musically subgenre, but it's also a lot to do with the shock value. With a Shining pretty much primed around that stuff because they made these really shocking images with lots of blood and self-harm and all that stuff. So like it's kind of funny how this whole thing became, well, a thing. Because musically they could have been just doing that Burzum copycat style without having extreme ideas like suicidal stuff.
Shining and Lid do little bit different things which doesn't relate it to DSBM.
Yeah, Satanic Death Machine, especially later on, Shining have been flirting with so much other stuff than just, the typical DSBM stuff. That's very true. And Jaguars, my favorite American football team is New England Patriots. You might have seen me wearing a shirt by that band. Actually, today I just posted a short video on Instagram about one stuff that I'm reviewing next week. I mean, the review video is already done, but coming out of Monday. And I wanted to share a little bit of preview of that stuff because it's a wonderful product. And
Shining is bloody good live band.
And also in that video you can see me wearing, New England Patriots shirt because that's just what I happen to wear today. And yeah, Shining is a good band, but there's also a little bit of this contradiction with their message, like self-harm and all that stuff. While it's very, very, entertaining live band, it's almost like this whole self-harm thing is kind of like for show in a way. And they are very much like a rock and roll band.
What is your favorite Finnish BM live bands, and do you like Stamina?
No, I don't like Stamina. I've seen them a couple of times. It's not like I hate it, but musically, it's just not my cup of tea. My favorite Finnish live band, I don't know. Hard question because I do not know if there is one like particular, band I'm really a fan of. I don't like most NSBM bands musically. Never found a band which is NSBM.
ここの神様のことか。神のお導きはひそやかなもの。
Moonsoro for sure, NSBM band, in case you were referring to that.
神社を壊したのはさまよえる御霊と言われています。御霊じゃ。確かなことはされど壊されたことに変わりなく。大物主様に供物を。3つの神社でおみきを捧げれば導きが得られるでしょう。酒と導きが結びつくとは不思議。神主は大物主様のお怒りを恐れ近くの村に身を隠しています。
It's not like I couldn't enjoy certain NSBM bands musically, even if I disagree with them thematically, ideologically. But so far, I think band hasn't been really my cup of tea. I mean, if you would call Graveland, the early Graveland NSBM band, then I would say that would be my favorite. But the thing is, I don't consider Graveland to be NSBM, because it's more like, you know, this historical thing.
Black metal bands.
Graveland is so much more about this pagan ancestry and
私はおみきで大物主様を鎮めるのです。先見玉、串見玉、守り玉へ、先はえ玉へ。二つの神社でも同様に儀式を行うのです。大和の騒乱があろうと、ここに恐れるものなどありません。
What do you think about the allegations that Trump got Bill Clinton head?
I haven't been paying attention to Trump about Bill Gates. It's not really my interest at all. Veles is a little bit hit and miss. They do have some decent stuff, but Veles also has some, very crappy stuff. I can't remember what was the album. This was like in the late 90s. What the fuck it was? And it was so crap. The riffs, the production and whatever. But the other album I heard later on was actually, pretty good. I just don't remember the names because I really haven't been listening to Veles for a long, long time. And now all my Jameson whiskey is gone. For next stream, I guess I need a new bottle. Funny he mentioned seeking answers from spirit. What I was having is spirit, alcohol. No killers. I'm not a fan of Irving Goodman or Kake Randelin. I'm not, in general, fan of Finnish lager music.
では何故声をかけた？何が狙いじゃ？
狙い？別に狙いなどない。だがお主は手強い武者を狙って追いかけとるんじゃろ。
Thank you, Rytkösen Jussi. I am very happy with the Fintroll interview. It was so good to talk to both of these guys. They were so talkative and telling me a lot about the history of the band and all. And, good guys. Interesting band. And I totally think that Fintroll deserved their success. Good live band. Why I don't like Slaughter? I don't know. It's just too Finnish music and not heavy enough. Not the kind of stuff I want to. It just reminds me of bitter middle-aged people.
その純慶とやらはいずこに？
真実同様、捉えにくいやつだ。城にはおらんだろうな。茶は好きか？あの辺りでうまい茶が飲めるらしいぞ。
もうおらん。妙じゃな。
What is that, killers? God damn. There's one place that
Some
still
people
didn't.
like some music, others don't.
Why didn't this register for me praying? Yeah, but slugger music, maybe it's too much like the music of what my parents listened to when I was a kid. I don't know. Just doesn't feel interesting to me at all. I mean, there can be quite a bit of melancholia in Finnish Schlager music, but then again, I'm not really into melancholic bands most of the time either. So for me, it's more about, I'm more interested in metal music for many, many reasons. And of course, one of them is being that metal music is heavy and aggressive. So yeah, Jussi, you know what Slugger. Slugger music is basically iskelmä. You know iskelmä music. Schlager is just the foreign word to describe Finnish iskelmä. But yeah, heavy metal or any kind of metal. I mean, metal music is just so much more interesting. And it's not just about the heaviness, obviously, but obviously that plays a big part for me liking metal music. Oh yeah, Jagulers. I know I know the team, but I don't know why it was mentioned. That's why I was asking why HPK was mentioned here.
果たし合いの相手か知らせてやらなくては。
Urban Goodman is from Hemi in Lina.
Alright, Jagulers. Look at these views. Look at this view. This is beautiful. And of course you could say, yeah, it's a video game. Graphics, who cares? But the thing is, all these places, all these visuals are of course based in real life.
Why we talk about him?
I don't know why Jagulers wants to talk about Irving Goodman.
What about
Okay.
Finnish rock?
Well, Finnish rock isn't exactly interesting to me at all. I mean, all it brings to my mind is bands like Yö, Neljä Ruusua, Chlamydia, stuff like that.
宗俊殿、お目にかかれて光栄です。頼みなら断る。これはご無礼を。お気を悪くされたなら謝りまする。手合わせする気はない。お主のことも、ここへ来たわけも知っておる。なれど。
Popeda.
Nah, Popeda is not my thing.
はそう崩れ。前に刀を抜いた時など、敵にとどめを刺すことすらできなんだ。無心で刀を振るい行き着いた果てが、この落ちぶれで死を待つ。今さらお主は
Finland got Hanoi rocks.
Yeah, Finland got Hanoi rocks. To be honest, I never listened to full Hanoi rocks albums. For me, it's more like a hit song band.
ただ、太刀を捨てる前に、どうかひとたび宗俊殿が刀を振るう姿をお見せ願いたい。どうかそれがしではなく、御身のために。よかろう。これが最後だ。
My mom likes Hanoi rocks.
You have a good mom.
Do you like
Ask your mom if you can date.
playing it again in PS4?
Yeah, Red Dead Redemption 2 is one of my top 3 games of all times.
柳生田島の神宗俊。
Okay, it seems like we're now in for a real fight. This might get tricky.
二度と刀を取ることはあるまい。いざ相わかる力の持ち思い出されたか。どうかこの神業をよかろう。
What happened to my... God damn it, I almost died already. What the hell is happening here? Why this blade is not... Why this parry is not functioning was my question, that is.
宗俊殿、なんという戦いぶり。まさに宗俊殿。安家よ、お主の申した通りだ。わしにこの道を捨てることはできぬ。剣は我が心と同じ。
But a lot of genres in the world don't really interest me that much. I mean, apart from single songs and all that stuff. No, this is not, well, African samurai technically speaking, because it's a Japanese character brought to Japan by Portuguese. Originally from Africa, obviously.
I have a job apprentice in hardware store. What do you think?
J Killers, I'm happy that you have a apprentice job.
それがしは剣聖の技に学ぶために参りました。罪を背負っていても人の値打ちは変わりませぬ。剣聖、共に来ていただきたい。貴殿にはまだこの地の民を救う力がある。お主の言う通りかもしれぬ。思案することといたそう。礼を言うぞ、安家よ。
These blood effects are very cool in this game.
さらに強くなれることでしょう。
Talking about this snowy environment, by the way. It could have been refreshing if I was playing the game during the summer. But now that it's already snow in the where I live, no, it's not exactly that interesting. I have to read about this particular character because it was mentioning here. Oh, it's here actually.
Do you play Madden?
No, I tried one Madden game and can't say I actually enjoyed it. So this was the entry I was looking for. Yagui Munetoshi.
It's hard.
Yeah, it's hard. Okay, this is pretty interesting. So this was a real character in the game. Wow, nice. God damn, I have so many skill points left. let's take a look at the gear if I've gotten some nice upgrades. Alright, I've got to see what oh fuck, it's already almost 1 o'clock. And I was just like, let's go for it and let's move on to a next objective or whatever. But it seems, where the hell is Koriyama Castle? Okay, this is a new mission that I had earlier today. Okay, maybe this is what I'm supposed to do next. I mean, I could choose whatever. So many places to go to. I guess I will do a little bit of scouting the next time and all. But now I unfortunately have to go. It's almost 1 o'clock and I have to be up, around 9 p.m. in the morning. So I guess I'm gonna just call it a night. And hopefully be back streaming tomorrow unless something is stopping me. Now, thanks for your company, people. Thanks for your questions and all. It's always a pleasure to game with you people around and talking a little bit and all. But good night and catch you later. Stay tuned for Rauta's videos and more stream announcements. And good night wherever you are. Bye bye.